Hello, welcome back to Tabletop Modern Miniatures. Firstly, hopefully you've enjoyed my previous video, which was the terrain tutorial. Hopefully that's been a good video. But today I want to just have a little look at a new set of miniatures I received from Spectre Operations. These are some resin miniatures, and I want to just have a little bit more of a quick look at the products that Spectre were pushing out prior to going to resin and offering that as an option, because for me it's a noticeable difference. I've got some metal minis from Spectre as well that I haven't made yet, they're still in the box. But I figured we'd just have a quick look at the detail difference, because for me it's night and day difference. So let me get a couple out and we'll have a look. Okay, so this is Task Force Nomad on the Spectre Operations, Spectre Miniatures website. They always come really well packaged. They've got a nice graphic in the back of the box, a little bit of a spiel on the back, telling you their social links as well. And they always come really well packaged with the foam, just for protection. So I grab a couple out. We'll just have a little look at them in a bit more depth, and then, like I say, we'll have a look at them next to some metals that Spectre put out. Okay, so this is the first one from Task Force Nomad. He's carrying some sort of AK type setup, and I think the idea of these guys is that they're kind of supposed to kind of blend in with the environment from a distance. I think on their website it gives you a kind of a explanation of why they're dressed like this. But yeah, they're to blend in with the environment from a distance, and then up close they are obviously operators. But the level of detail, I'm really hoping that the camera's going to pick this up. Let's just check the focus. Yeah, the level of detail on these guys is, I think, pretty amazing, and that goes with most of the resin miniatures that I've got recently versus the metal ones. But yeah, it's really a kind of a next level detail, I think. This is another one. I'll just take that one away and put that one up. So yeah, this is another one. He's got some sort of let's get the focus sorted. There we go. He's got some sort of support weapon. Again, this is all listed on their website. It tells you, I'm sure it tells you the weaponry, with a pretty big backpack setup. But again, just the level of detail on that backpack is, I think, really, really good. Even the face, I think it's quite amazing the level that it goes into. But if we just put these guys down and then have a quick look at, so there's a metal miniature. Now, don't get me wrong, they've still got some decent detail, but they lack a certain element that kind of just pops out, I think, compared to the resin miniatures. The metals are still good, but I think I do prefer the resins. They just give that much more detail, and I think if we just try and line these two up and get the light in probably the best, I really think that you can see a massive difference of detail there. Even in the weaponry, like looking at the AK magazine on the resin miniature, there's sort of lines going down it which look similar to the same as the actual real one, whereas the metal one, it lacks that detail. You can still make out a lot of detail in the metal, but it just lacks those final little bits that kind of make you go wow, I think. And the only other thing that I found with getting metal miniatures is sometimes things come out, if you can see the weapon, I'll try and angle it, it's a little bit bent. Yeah, and it's not a problem because you can straighten it out, but it's just little things like that they just feel a little bit more fragile. Again, I don't think the detail just at the top of his body armour and around his face, I know he's wearing sort of a balaclava, but to me it's just a little bit lacking. Yeah, just a little bit lacking, I think. Still, they make for really good miniatures, but my preference will be resin. So just moving on from these guys then, I was just going to see if I could, I was going to try something different and have a quick look on their website and try and do a screen recording on the computer just to see what they've got, what they offer, still in metal and in resin, and maybe just have a little look at what I might be looking to pick up in the near future.
Okay, so here we are on the Spectre Miniatures website, and I've always thought it's quite a good looking website, really. Yeah, they've dressed it up really well. So I always like to have a quick look at the new releases, because they're always releasing stuff that seems to slip through my net. So it's always a good place just to come and have a look and see what we've got. You can see here these guys are the Task Force Nomad, which we've just had a look at. And again, I think once they're painted up, they look really good, really impressive. So yeah, we've got a few ways of looking for things on here. Obviously, I forgot to mention, Spectre Miniatures have their own set of rules, which are pretty detailed, pretty in depth. I do have their rule book, and I've not delved into it, mainly for two reasons really. They do offer a solo play option, but it is more of a two-player game, and the whole point of choosing the Haywire rule set is because of having time, or a lack of time, to go to a game shop and actually play. So I think in the future, once I have got a bit more time, hopefully at some point, if that ever happens, I will look into this rule set more, and get some games in, try and get some people interested at a local game shop, and give it a go. So yeah, they do have their own rule set. It is a really good book. I do have it, as I say, and I have read through it, and it does all make sense. It is a good set of rules. So yeah, it's one to check out. And I haven't looked into this yet, Mythos. It's something else to have a look at. It does have its own set of rules, and characters and stuff, so it's something different that they're offering. But yeah, if that takes your fancy, then it'd be worth having a look at. But just going back to the actual website then, so they've got a few ways of looking for various miniatures. They break them down into factions. You can go on to all miniatures, which gives you every single option, including they've got extras, which are sort of scenario based stuff. So you could have these as scenario based objectives, things for weapons and comms and stowage and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can get additional bits on here. Whilst they don't really have much in terms of terrain building wise, they do have some basic bits of scenery that you can pick up. So yeah, just going back up to all miniatures, we've had a look at those. Those are broken down into all the various types that they have, or you can have a look at infantry miniatures. And then we go on to the vehicles. The vehicles look pretty cool, to be honest. If we take a look at some light vehicles, so we've got the Humvees, BMPs. They do some police setups as well, or that kind of FBI type setup. So I'm thinking that at some point I might look at getting one of these light vehicles, maybe a Humvee, maybe one of these sort of setups, and see if I can work it into my scenario somehow. But yeah, I'd quite like to give the vehicles a go, because I've not got any from these guys yet. So, and there's some tanks as well. I think the tanks just look pretty cool, to be honest. Yeah, details wise, they just seem to look pretty cool. So yeah, I'd like to get some. Hopefully my paint skills will be up to the same as that, and weathering it and stuff. But yeah, they do offer a big old set. Drones as well, obviously that's a massive part of Modern Warfare now, so they've got a good selection of those. Crew, so if you've got vehicle mounted weapons, obviously you can't put your standard miniatures in them, you need to buy a specific crew member that is set up to manage that weapon. So they offer those as well, which I think is really good. And yeah, just generally that's a very quick overview of what we've got on here. They obviously offer STLs if you've got a 3D printer. I don't know in terms of stockists how many are available in the UK, to be honest. None, it would seem. So it's directly from their website. I know my local gaming shop, which is in Toyman on the south coast in Poole, they do offer a few selections from Spectre. So yeah, maybe they'll get into shops at some point. But I know for anyone in America, there are a few places that you can order from: Black Site Studios and Big E Games. So yeah, there's 2 places over there, because obviously shipping would be a nightmare to get across to the States. And I do know that, and I've never really looked at this, Black Site Studios on here. I know they make some cool terrain, but it would seem that Spectre does not stock any of that. They just stock Luna, which I've not heard of before. So yeah, as I say, that is just a general overview of the website. It all looks pretty cool, to be honest. It's worth a look if you've not looked at it. They do some really cool stuff on there. Even if you just want to take a look at having one for show rather than playing any of the rule sets, I think modern stuff does look really cool. So anyway, we'll call that the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you like the Spectre miniatures we've taken a look at, and hopefully taking a look at the website quickly has been beneficial. So we'll see you in the next video, and thanks for stopping by.